Hi everybody, it's Larry Lynch from USPCA, and we're doing kind of a live presentation today because it dawned on us, we pretty frequently do these live updates about what's happening with the Personal Chef Association, the Personal Chef world, and things you can learn. And we realized that it's a great opportunity to share with you how easy it is to do these kinds of things today. That it takes some relatively inexpensive equipment, a little bit of time, some social networking, and you too can begin to bring all your skills, abilities, knowledge to your clients in the world beyond. So, one of the things I talk about with our new members is the fact that, as you start out in your business, you have to spend a lot more time marketing and getting your information out there and talking to people than you are in the kitchen until you establish yourself with those clients. And, free video and media today is probably one of the easiest ways to do it. So I'm going to kind of focus on what we do with Facebook Live and the equipment that we use, how we do it, what we use. But remember, we talk about that. We talk about Facebook Live because that's something that has a little bit more shelf life to it. It's out there. But there's a variety of other social media that you can use, from YouTube to Instagram, Periscope. So start to learn all those things. Get online, read about all of them, understand how they work, understand how you can use them. But we'll start, I'm just going to walk you through today kind of some of the things that we do with the Facebook Live, and more importantly, just the equipment that we have. One of the most important things is realize live video is live video. So like right now I've got Rob's dog kind of wandering around saying hello to us, or if she walks in the frame, say hi to Willow. But things are going to happen. And so with live video, you kind of got to go with the flow. Laugh about things. I think you've all seen some of the things we've stumbled through over time. And I think there was a time Rob made mint juleps, and I managed to kind of mess that up a little bit and trying to crush the mint. So there are things you can do and things are going to happen. The bottom line is have a lot of fun. But also think about the story that you want to tell. I talk a lot about the ability to tell stories. So make sure you're going to do a video, frame it up first. It can be anything from cooking lessons, it can be wine tasting, it could be different kinds of instruction. You can do a live demo and show people how to use certain techniques. All those things, you can even cough a little bit when you have the opportunity, are things that you can do to bring your skill set to life to your clients. So what do you need when you do that? Well, first and foremost, make sure you have a Facebook account to start. Obviously, we'll focus on Facebook. Personal account, business account, and then access through your account, Facebook Live. That's the first thing you have to do. Now, when you do that, make sure you're framing it up. Think about it. Are you going to be in your kitchen? If you're going to be in your kitchen, and like today we have dogs walking around, if you're doing cooking lessons, you may want to do something with the dogs or the cats. People may freak out if they see dog hair and cat hair going into the food. Think food safety when you're doing these things. If you're doing kind of a casual conversation, or maybe you're going to do a group, think about elsewhere in your home or someone else's home. But if you're out there, in fact, you can sit and watch as the dogs get into some of the treats. Willow, out of the treats. Willow, Willow. So you can get, this is live video, this is what happens. So you just kind of get used to these things. But anyhow, if you're at somebody's house, make sure too that you've got those guests. You recognize that they're going to be on some live media at some point in time, so make sure you're getting their permission to use their images. The fact is you may make some money from this, you may gain a client, and so you want to make sure that they're okay with using their images. Also make sure in terms of anything in the background, radio, television, music, if it's copyrighted, you're probably better off turning it off. You might not run into a problem, but like just a little while ago I was listening to my new Beach Boys album, and if you like the Beach Boys, great job with Royal Philharmonic, but we turned it off, because obviously it's copyrighted, and it's just a safety valve. It's a better thing to do. So be thinking about all those things consciously before you start your video presentation. So it's scripting, it's placement, it's all those things you have to do. It's making sure that there's other people, that you got their okay to be able to use their images, as if they're participating in a wine tasting or perhaps a cooking class, whatever it is. But use this medium. So what does it take? We've got some pretty simple tools to make this happen. Obviously a computer, because at some point in time you may want to go in and edit the images, because one of the things you do when it's live, you also have the advantage that you also then have the film itself, and it's not even film, it's all digital. But you have a chance, if you get really good at it, or if you have a spouse, a sibling, somebody that knows how to do editing, they can go in and edit it, and you can repurpose it across a host of medium. You could actually take it off of Facebook Live if you want, edit it, have some fun with it, and put it up on your website. So think all the time, and we're back from the last one. So You never know when somebody's going to come to the door. So just be prepared and know what you have to do. So I was just starting to say, obviously having the laptop, a computer, so you can go back and edit. Think about how you can repurpose the work that you're doing. If it's a cooking lesson, whatever it may be, you have that chance to go back and get it up on your website. And it allows you now to take the content that might be perhaps what you've always done as a blog and turn it into video, which obviously is much more engaging for your client base, much more engaging for your potential clients, and gets you raised much higher and faster in the world of search. So make sure you think about that. Some of the tools we use are pretty simple. Obviously, lighting's important. We have some auxiliary lighting because no matter what you do, you've got the big lamp going here. Depending on the time of day, depending on the circumstances, that auxiliary lighting never hurts, just to make sure that it supports what the camera's looking at. Of course, a tripod. In our case, we typically have a couple of tripods because when we're doing our live videos, we're doing Instagram, we're doing YouTube, and we're doing Facebook all simultaneously. And then obviously it's the media itself. A lot of what we do is on an iPad, and the iPads are pretty simple, but we have what's called a Padcaster, and this is pretty cool. All we do is put the iPad in the back of the Padcaster. It has its own lens in the front that then looks through the lens on the iPad, and then this hooks up on top of your tripod. And so again, it just becomes simple. Then Rob typically has a microphone. I think it's what, a Rode or Rode? Rob, how do you pronounce it? Rode, R-O-D-E.
I think it's from Australia.
All this, by the way, you can find at Amazon. So I've done all of this online. And
we'll throw some other kits. There's links for different kits that you can have.
Yep.
And we'll throw links on below.
So what I'm saying, we'll put some links up there for different kinds of kits you can put. But all this is relatively inexpensive because we're just using our basic media tools. If you're kind of doing the stand-up with your iPhone, a couple of ways. If you're just holding up the iPhone, or if you want to actually put it as a little mini tripod, we have these for the iPhones themselves. But it allows us then to be able to do this, to simulcast across a couple of different channels. A gimbal, which is kind of cool. If you ever watched sports, you'll see the guys with the big heavy-duty steady cams, and this basically uses a gyroscope so that if you're moving around, and you've got to walk behind, you're going to move it, the camera stays relatively steady while you're continuing to move.
When it's turned on.
Probably made a good point, when it's turned on. But obviously it puts together for us, a series of relatively inexpensive tools that we can use, tying into each of our accounts so that when we're demonstrating, we have that ability to go back and broadcast it all. So what happens? Well, when we do this, obviously, and you're seeing what we're doing today is actually recorded, so we did have to shut the camera off for a few minutes while some groceries were being delivered. But coming back on, typically you can go back now, take this ongoing work that was live, that you had some fun with, and then use your editing tools online, and then figure out how you're going to repurpose it. So when I was talking at the beginning of the video about making sure you're scripting and making sure you're thinking about what your story is going to be, don't just think about how it's going to be live, but then also think of how it's going to be when you repurpose it. So what does repurpose mean? And again, it's website, other media, can you get it up on your Facebook account? Think about all those different places that you can use it, and then think about how you can do it over and over and over again. Again, I talked to a lot of our members, and they're all excited now because they're putting up a blog post, and obviously video blogs are great. These are all things, these are all tools, and again, relatively inexpensive and relatively easy to do. So Rob very conveniently gave me some notes, which I have hidden back here, so this is part of what we're doing as well. And I'll make sure I've covered everything. And I think we have. And think too outside the box. The other thing that points out, some of you may have hobbies. Getting to know you personally is kind of a cool thing as well. Rob, for example, does a lot with rescue dogs, and what a great chance to get out there and show yourself doing things in the community. Perhaps if you're going to be doing a presentation to a civic group, have somebody film you doing the presentation to the civic group. Make sure you get their permission if it's going to have anything with their name on it. But again, that chance to get it out there and push it out there and repurpose it. So again, kind of the purpose of what we want to do today was just share, and again, we'll have up, because we're recording this one rather than doing it live. So when you see it, Rob's going to produce some of these extras, like some of the equipment choices that we have, anything from the tripods to the lighting to the casters. He'll have all that up there, and so we'll be able to demonstrate for you the Rode microphones. Really see not only what we do, but where you can find it. So this is just a little look behind the scenes today to give you an idea of what we do when we do live broadcasting, to push you to get to do the same thing. Remember, like I said, in the early days of your business, you're the chief executive officer, you're the chief marketing officer, you're the chief sales officer, you're the chief financial, you are everything in the organization. As you build your business, you become much more the chief chef. But working towards that, these are the kinds of tools that you need to get yourself out to the marketplace. Because remember, personal chef is just that. It's personal. It's you. How many people, and I've said this to somebody just on the phone the other day, how many times do people go out to the restaurant and dine? And they might engage with the host or hostess, they'll engage with the wait staff, they'll engage perhaps with the general manager, but they go there for the food. So who's really the rock star? The rock star is the chef, and the chefs in the kitchen never get a chance to see the guests. So now you guys are connecting the dots. And that means you're part of that personal experience, and it is just that, a personal experience. So from all of us at USPCA, and by the way, it's just me today, Angela Prather is at the joint USPCA. So there go the interruptions again, like they typically do. So Robert will glue all this together so it makes sense. But I was just starting to say that it's just me today because Angela Prather is at the joint USPCA ACF conference in New Orleans. So if you happen to be at the conference, you happen to be in New Orleans this weekend or over the next couple of days, make sure you stop by the Hyatt Regency and say hi. Our group is there. This is the first time we're doing it. We're looking forward to it. We have a decent turnout of members and working on certainly some programming for next year as well. So again, I hope everybody has a great day. They're having an awesome summer. I'm hoping you really take advantage of some of these very simple tools, many of which you already have. You have a cell phone, you have an iPad, you're already off to a great start. If you have a social media account, you're even further along. But take advantage of this and make sure you're pushing your information out into the marketplace. And again, today it's Larry Lynch for USPCA. Have an awesome day. Thanks.